How do you build your design portfolio? In this video, I have Tony from Inner Geek Designs that'll tell us just that. And if you're interested in becoming a freelance designer, make sure to grab the How to Become a Freelance Designer Starter Guide linked in the description below. When it comes to your design portfolio, what are some things that you recommend all freelance designers have on their portfolio?
I think one thing all designers should have is not to just showcase their work, but also tell the story of their work. So explain what the client is. Why did the client need this? How did you service their needs? And if possible, what are the results of that project? You know, if you're doing a website project, they were looking for X amount of traffic, and we achieved it by increasing the homepage to justify more needs, and we got X amount of results.
Got it. So rather than just talking about like the aesthetics or anything, you want to talk about like what business problem you are actually solving with your skills.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's what you're helping. You're helping the marketing teams solve problems and get results.
And is there a place where most designers or that you recommend designers, like how do they host this portfolio? Where should they be putting it?
I always suggest that you should host your own website. I host mine for maybe $200 a month or $200 a year. Sorry, but you know, not everyone has that ability, and not everyone's comfortable with that. Behance is pretty good. Adobe has their own portfolio platform, which is free if you have Creative Cloud. You could do a Wix or Squarespace website, which are free also. So there's plenty of options, but I always recommend doing a WordPress website or Squarespace or Wix, just because if you decide that you want to have more than a portfolio, you have that option now to build a full website on top of it.
And based on what you've seen so far, like what has been like the most impressive thing you've seen on a resume? Like what is something that you feel like if someone included in their portfolio, they would instantly at least be on a short list of candidates?
I think the most interesting thing I saw someone actually send into me was they send their resume, their portfolio link, but they also had a link that personally addressed the person that they were sending the email to, giving them a little introduction of how they found your company, why they think they'd be a great fit. And it was just something outside the box that made them stand out a little bit more.
And what about the other end? What is something that you recommend that, or that you see in portfolios that you recommend people just cut out and not include in it?
Physical portfolios, they're not used anymore. I think last time I heard, the school I graduated out of is still making students use physical portfolios. But they're just not needed anymore. People aren't asking them to send them in and then mail them back out. It's not that type of age anymore. So digital only, PDF, website, whatever you feel like you need to have. So.
And you mentioned previously that you spend a lot of your day on marketing, right? On blog posts, on podcasting. How does that kind of tie into your portfolio, I guess, in terms of making you the ideal candidate for someone to go after if they're looking for a designer?
It's almost a way for my clients to get justification that I know what I'm talking about. So I had a client, they said, well, we understand that you're a good logo designer, but do you really know what you're talking about? I said, yeah, well, here's a video that has almost 900 views of me talking about logo design trends. The design community is really small, and we're competitors of each other, but we're not really competitors of each other. We kind of help each other. We kind of build each other up. So one designer might have a client come in and say, hey, I'm not a good fit for you, but this guy over here is a great fit for you. So building that community of designers, helping them out, helping them give advice, also helps give referrals to me as well.
Got it. So you mentioned in your scenario, like you had a video in your back pocket when someone wants some justification for hiring you, for your skill set. But how did you start to decide, like, hey, I want to create this specific piece of content? Like, how do you think about what you should be spending your time creating content-wise?
There's a couple ways I do it. One way is I just do it and see if it works. The other way is, I do a bunch of SEO terms. Every year I'll do a new one for an affiliate blog post that's about best graphic design laptop, best Wacom tablet, all that stuff, just because I know those do good on SEO. And I know that there's a select group of ones that I know that every year I have to do because they'll help designers coming up. And I know there's a select group that I have to do because I know these will work good with clients that are potentially looking. Like every year I'll do, how do you find a good graphic designer in 2018 or 2019? And I'll update it and refresh it. And there's just certain things that that work. And then there's certain things that work SEO wise. And then there's certain things that you just want to try to see if they even work. And that category is where people get a little bit scared of trying.
Thanks for watching. If you're interested in becoming a freelance designer, make sure to grab the How to Become a Freelance Designer Starter Guide linked in the description below. And if you want to watch more videos about freelance designers, make sure to watch the next video in this series.